Morning YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so in the last episode you saw that we got all the walls up, and today we're going to start putting the 11mm Stirling board on the outside face of the walls to add extra strength, rigidity, rigidity, whatever. It's a fairly straightforward process, this. We've got 8 foot by 4 foot if you're in America, or if you're in England they are 1.2 by 2.4 sheets, and literally we're going to be screwing them straight to the studs. Going to be using these 40mm wood screws from Screwfix. They're the same ones I used on the floor. Plenty long enough, and I think really it's just a case of getting on with the first sheet. So the first sheet that I'm going to do is in this corner on the side wall, and it will start halfway on this timber here, obviously on the other side, and it will come over to about here. That then allows me to kind of push and pull the frame a little bit just to straighten her up. It's really just a case of getting the sheet in place, getting one fixing in to hold it, and then you can kind of wobble the frame around a little bit, pull it a bit, push it a bit, and then once you've got it in the right place, get a couple more screws in, and then that will hold it in place fine, and then just draw some lines and screw it up. Let's go. Okay, so as you can see, the first sheet is in. I got the bottom corner in the right hand side screwed in first, and then that just allowed me to level the frame, which actually it was almost there. It needed to go that way just a little bit, and then to pull the board, pivot the board around that corner so that it was level, and we've got like a nice even gap down the side of the middle of the stud, ready for the next sheet to go on. And then I've put screws in every stud. I marked the studs and then put screws in every stud. We're going to be wrapping the whole building in a membrane, and then screwing the battens on with 50mm screws. So the 50mm screws will go through the battens, through this, and into the studs. So we don't need to put loads and loads of screws in, but I'll probably get a few more sheets on and then maybe come back and put a few more screws in. Just I haven't got that many screws and want to get as many sheets on today as possible. So what I'm actually going to do, it's a bit treacherous because I've still got a big trench in my way that's full of water. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put the first sheet on the back, and then that way I've squared this side up and I'll square this side up, and then really I'll be able to finish this side, work my way all along the back here, and you can worry about the front and the other end later, but they should be less problematic once these two bits are squared up, because when you push this that way it kind of moves everything to where it needs to be. Now it's all screwed together. So although the view here isn't that great, let's get this bit on and see how we get on. Cool. So the back wall is pretty much done. All went in okay. Like you saw, I had to trim a couple of sheets just to make sure they fell halfway on my studs, but not all of them actually, only a few, so that was good. I've got one little panel to go in there at the end, and in this corner down here is obviously where the cables are going to be coming in for electricity. So I'm going to have to pull the cables in at some point soon, before I can finish cladding that end of the wall at least. Now I've got some help coming to lift the 3 steel beams in that I've got. They're going, they're splitting the roof into 4 sections, so you've got about 2.2 meters to the first one above the door, then another 2.2 meters in the middle, and then again another one above that door. So in a minute I'm gonna have to stop the walls and put those steel beams in, which is going to be a bit of a struggle, but with 2 of us it should be okay, hopefully. All right, well, we'll see, won't we? Come then. So as you can see, we've got the steel beams in. A really great job done, really exciting to get some of the roof structure up, and now it's just a case of bolting them down to the frame and just making sure everything's level. While I'm doing that, I'm going to use the same coach bolts that I used in the floor to join the floor sections together, and then that will just bolt up really nicely, and then that will mean that this isn't going to go anywhere. And I'm going to then carry on with cladding the walls. Let's go. Okay, so I've put the bolts in where I can get them, which is in here, the middle one both sides and the end one at the back. It's all level up here except at this end. It needs to just come this way a little bit and that way a little bit, so just squeezed in at the top a little bit. But one problem is that I can't get to the fixings here. I might be able to go diagonally through here and get a bolt in there, but I can't do that yet, and I've got to push this forward a little bit. So I haven't done this one or the far one at these ends, but at the moment, I mean, that's made the whole structure a lot stiffer. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm going to try and get some more Stirling-board on the walls just to keep the structure nice and firm. So let's get on with that. So I've done the central section and the end section next to the door, and it's started to rain, so I might just give it a rest for a bit. I suppose there's nothing particularly to say about the process. It's very sort of repetitive. You put the sheet up, you mark the holes, or you mark the joists and you screw it up, so it's quite straightforward. I think when you start a new wall, the thing that you need to be really careful is that you get that wall level before you screw the Stirling-board in. If you screw the Stirling-board in before the wall's level, you'll never ever get it level, because you'll have all the screws holding everything in place. So you must get the wall level before you screw anything in, then you won't have any problems going forward. I'm really happy with the progress so far. Not sure how much more I'm going to get done today, just due to the weather, but I'm going to just keep going for now and try and get this corner and the back done, this corner over there, the back corner, and then I'm going to have to start trying to drag this cable through, and that could be a bit of a pain, but we'll see. I'm going to bring the cables down shortly after I've had a cup of coffee. Okay, let's go. Okay, so in order to finish the Stirling-board on the walls, I need to run the cable through the ductwork, and I need to do that now. Really, I've been avoiding it because I've not done it before, and I've got to drag it in two pulls, the first being 30 meters down the path to the house where I've cut the duct, and then the next pull is down the side of the house, and then that will be then at the front of the house, ready to come through the wall and to the fuse board. So that is my duct, that's my duct, and I've got to get this, which is 25mm 3-core armoured cable, and this, which is Cat 6 armoured cable, and basically both of those together are going to be quite a snug fit down there, so I'm not envisaging this being particularly easy. I've got a few tools down here, got some snips. I'm probably going to need a hacksaw just to cut it all up. Got some insulation tape to try and wrap around the top to make it a sort of, try and make a cone, I suppose, to make it as sort of smooth and it doesn't get caught on anything. And then I guess we just have to trust that the nylon string will pull it through without breaking. So let's prep the cable and get on with it, I suppose. Let's go. Okay, so here is the end of my cable. It's tied on, bent round, taped up. I'm hoping that there's nothing too catchy and that's going to go through. Just handling this then I know this is gonna just be a real pain, and I still haven't attached the Cat 6 cable yet, and I'm desperately thinking if there's any other way I can do it, like pull another drawstring through with this, so that once I get down there I can just pull this, the second cable through on its own. But I don't think I have anything that I can send through with it, so really I don't think I've got any choice other than just to try and do it all in one go, which I know is not going to work very well. Anyway, let's get the Cat 6 tied up and try and start putting them through. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I've hooked the Cat 5 cable up here, so as that is dragging, that's going to just feed itself in, which is great. This stuff is just too big. I can't lift it on anything. I've got nothing strong enough. I've taped them both up, and I've kind of tried to stagger them, so we'll get one through, the big one through, and then hopefully the smaller one will just slide along with it, but we'll have to see. But at least the Cat 5 should roll on its own. This, I'm going to have to roll it while my wife tries to pull them through. This is going to be a real challenge. Okay, let's go. So for the last hour we've been trying to push the cable through the duct. The drawstring broke while we were trying to pull it through, so then we decided that we would try and push the thick cable through with the drawstring, so that we could then try and pull the smaller Cat 6 cable through around the side of it. But that wasn't having it at all. It's completely stuck, so got a few concerns that we're just never going to get that in the duct, to be honest. I suppose we could try running this down the duct with the drawstring to the other end, and then hopefully, but this is so bendy that I think it will just get caught all the way along, where this is quite rigid, so once it's in the duct and going straight, it should just go straight. But I mean, there's no way I can push that in, so unfortunately we're going to have to change tact on that, and all the lovely duct work we've put in and everything that we've done is going to have to change probably. I'll look at it tomorrow, but I think we'll probably just lay this under the path, and with the Cat 6 just lay it under the path and then bring it in and up through the same hole and out the top, and that'll have to be done. The duct is just a bit of a red herring, but you know, things have gone really well today. Got a lot of the supply, the Stirling-board up and the steels, but hopefully tomorrow we can get these few little bits finished, and then it'll be onto the roof. Okay, let's get back at it tomorrow. Peace. Morning YouTubers, welcome back. Okay, so obviously yesterday we were trying to get the cable in, and this morning we have been trying to get the cable in, and I just have to hold my hands up and say, you know, it just didn't work. There was no way that I was ever going to be able to get that cable through the duct with the drawstring snapped. So really the only thing that I've been able to do is just lay the cable on the path. Obviously I'm going to have more path going on top of it, so it will still be covered, and feed it in round the back and up through the hole that I made for the ductwork. The ductwork, you can see, is there but completely redundant, so that was a real shame, and it took about 2-3 hours of pulling and pushing and going from the other end and trying, and it just could not get it through. So if you're doing this, what I would recommend is when you lay the duct, put your cable in it at that time. Don't cover it up, because there must have been like a little kink or something in there that was just stopping it from pulling through. So there you go, we live and learn. So we laid the cable, and then I just covered that part of the wall, and as you can see, the cable comes up this corner in here and then comes out up here, which is where I'm going to have my fuse board there. So this bit, the hole was in the right place. This bit's all worked out beautifully, but the ductwork was an absolute disaster, so we're just going to pretend that never happened. So also some good news today, is going to let me finish the doorways, because yesterday we didn't quite know what was going on with the doorways, but today we do. We've worked out where the walls are going. We're going to have one straight down the middle, and the shed is going to be like a little square shed, because I haven't got loads of stuff to put in the shed, to be honest. I've got a lawnmower and some garden tools, so there's not loads, so we're going to have that. And then this section will be my workshop, which I'm excited about. So the doors, which is great news, are staying exactly the same size as they were, so I can put the second beam in on both of them and get those all trimmed out, and then that will be the end of this. Okay, let's go. So there we have it. The doors are now all trimmed out all correctly. I've got the two big ones at the top to support the steel beam. I've got the side ones in that are supporting the 6x2s. So I've just got to trim off this little bit of Stirling-board and then put a bit of Stirling-board at the top on both sides. So I'm going to do that now, and then that'll be it for the day. Let's go. great progress today, really happy. The doors are done on the front. Obviously I've got the little porch area to do, but I'll do that much later. I want to get the roof on first. Yeah, it's all clad in the 11mm Stirling-board, and the cable's in where it needs to be, even though that was an absolute pig to do. We got there in the end, got the same result. And like I said, make sure you put the cable in the duct before you put all the hardcore over your duct. That way you'll get the pipe in and you won't mess it up like I have. So in the next episode I'm going to be wrapping the building and preparing it for cladding, and also I'm going to start on the timber work on the roof. Whether there'll be 1 or 2 episodes, I don't know, might split them up. But come back and see what we get up to next. Please like, subscribe. If you've got any questions, comment below, and there'll be a couple of videos up here somewhere, either previous ones of the build series or some of my design ones, showing you the process I went through in designing this in SketchUp, which is the 3D modelling software. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Peace.